guy just did something that got real fans on high alert. And I ain't talking about no single drop, no tour merch, not even a snippet. I'm talking about a potential Black Hippy reunion, one of the most requested moments in modern hip-hop, getting teased in plain sight, and barely anybody caught it. The wildest part, the clue didn't come from Kendrick directly. It came from someone real close to the source. Ab-Soul. Bro randomly posted a 5-month-old trailer Kendrick dropped before and quoted Kendrick's lyrics word for word, and then hit it with the coldest, quietest cliffhanger in rap right now. 3 dots. That ... wasn't just punctuation. That was pressure. That was intention. And the fact that Soul ain't say a word beyond that, man, it got people spiraling. Because with Black Hippy, silence always meant something was brewing. Now, if you've been keeping up with Kendrick's recent run, you already know there's one track that's been haunting this tour. Fans call it Tiramisu or Bodies, depending who you ask. But here's the kicker, he won't drop it, won't finish it. Every single show, Kendrick builds up to this mysterious, untitled song, lets off just enough bars to get folks locked in, and then cuts it short. Same exact spot every time, not a second more, not a second less. He'll perform this intro like it's the opening of an epic, and then boom, he leaves the rest hanging in the air like an unfinished sentence. That ain't just performance art, that's a setup. And people started picking up on something deeper. See, the lyrics that Kendrick does share in that snippet, they ain't subtle. He name drops Schoolboy Q, J-Rock, and Ab-Soul directly. That ain't a coincidence, that's a breadcrumb trail. Kendrick been planting clues, and now we finally catching on. And right when fans started connecting those dots, Ab-Soul drops that bomb on the timeline. Bro ain't just post a trailer for nostalgia. He quoted the exact same lyric Kendrick spit in that teaser and ended it on an ellipsis. It wasn't a shout out, it wasn't a tag, it was a coded message. And the timing, way too surgical to be random. Like, why would Ab-Soul wait 5 months to repost that clip? Why choose that exact line? And most importantly, why now? Right as the internet started speculating that Kendrick's unfinished track might actually be a Black Hippy song? Look, Ab-Soul don't play with symbolism. Dude a lyrical monk. If he say something, he mean it. And if he posts something cryptic like that out of nowhere, best believe he know what storm is gonna stir up. So here we are, Kendrick's teasing a track that feels half finished, Soul popping back in with a cryptic nod, and fans trying to read between the lines like it's a hip-hop Da Vinci Code. But wait, it gets even deeper, because now you gotta factor in the Grand National Tour. At first glance, it's just Kendrick hitting cities and performing classics, right? Nah, this tour is different. It's curated like a movie. Every detail, every guest, every drop feels intentional. Like in Atlanta, Kendrick randomly brought out Playboy Cardi, and it ain't feel out of place. It fit the whole vibe. That alone told fans, Kendrick ain't just touring, he building an experience. And this experience, it's got a midpoint. 3 nights in Sofi Stadium, Kendrick's home, his backyard, his biggest stage yet, and those 3 nights just so happen to land right in the middle of the tour like the center of a story. That can't be an accident. And that's why fans now think that song, Tiramisu, or whatever the real name is, ain't gonna be finished until Sofi. The theory? Kendrick gonna start the track like usual, then boom, Schoolboy Q slides in with a verse, J-Rock follows. Ab-Soul closes it out. Live, on stage, no warning, no drop, just a full circle moment that reintroduces Black Hippy to the world in the most Kendrick way possible. Quiet buildup, explosive payoff. Now, here's the real twist that took things from maybe to this might actually happen. Kendrick just announced he's headlining Spilt Milk Festival, and he ain't rolling solo. Guess who's coming with him? Schoolboy Q. That's right, Kendrick and Q on the same bill, moving through multiple dates like it's a mini tour. Add in Ducci, who been making waves with TDE, and Dominic Fike, who been tight with PG Lang. And now we ain't just looking at a fire lineup, we looking at a TDE PG Lang ecosystem reconnecting in real time. It feels like they testing something out, and if it goes smooth, it might set the stage for a 2026 TDE reunion tour, or even the label collab album that's been teased forever but never delivered. Last time they did a full tour together was the Championship Tour, back in 2018, right after Black Panther. Whole roster was active, energy was immaculate, and now, with all these artists circling each other again, Kendrick on stage, Q back in motion, Soul speaking in riddles, it's starting to feel like they're gearing up for something bigger than just music. Like the foundation for a full-on Black Hippy return already been laid, and we just watching it unfold piece by piece. But if you really want to understand what Kendrick's building, you got to look at the Heart series. You already know what time it is when Kendrick drops one of those. It always means something's about to shift. From the heart, part 2 before section point 80, to part 3 before Good Kid, and part 4 teasing, damn. Every single heart drop has been a signal, like clockwork. It ain't just a freestyle, it's a prelude to the storm. So when Kendrick popped out with the Heart Part 6, low-key, subtle, and full of emotional weight, folks should have known it was deeper than just a song. That track wasn't about flexing bars. It was a spiritual check-in. Kendrick talked to legacy, pain, identity, and yes, he name-dropped Ab-Soul, Schoolboy Q, and J-Rock. Again, see the pattern now? This ain't random. It's intentional design. Kendrick's been carefully seeding these names into his work, reminding you of where he came from, and not in a remember the good times way. Nah, this feels like a setup for return, a reminder that the foundation still exists. And more importantly, they're still connected. And that's where Sofi Stadium comes in. 3 massive shows in his home city, in front of the biggest crowds he's ever performed for. But the real significance? Timing. The SoFi shows land right at the midpoint of the tour. That ain't just convenience, that's structure. Kendrick's always used symmetry and symbolism in his rollouts. Think about how Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was structured like a therapy session. Act 1, Act 2, healing through pain. So if this tour is a live extension of that energy, SoFi might be where Act 1 ends and Act 2 begins. A pivot point. And if that's true, what better place to finally complete the song he'd been teasing for months? Picture this. He hits that same tiramisu snippet, the crowd know what's coming, but this time he doesn't cut it off. The beat keeps going. The stage goes dark, and then boom, Schoolboy Q walks out, crowd loses it, he drops his verse, then J-Rock slides in, then Ab-Soul. No announcement, no warning, just a live Black Hippy moment 10 years in the making, and it don't feel like some nostalgic throwback. It feels like a new chapter, because that's the real play here. Kendrick ain't just trying to remind us of Black Hippy, he might be trying to redefine it. Think about what TDE's been building. SZA is dominating, Doechii is taking off, Ray Vaughn making noise, and even outside the core circle, PG Lang been blurring the line between TDE and something else entirely. So what if Kendrick's not just hinting at a reunion, but at a new era where TDE and PG Lang start overlapping in real time? Not a label comeback, but a creative alliance. You can already see it in the festival lineups. You can see it in the collaborations, and you can especially see it in the fact that Ab-Soul, the most low-key of the crew, is the one stirring the pot with cryptic quotes. That's how Kendrick moves, bro. Quiet, surgical, symbolic, and when he ready to strike, it ain't loud, it's precise, which is why this whole run feel like a big narrative that's unfolding live. Every festival date, every special guest, every unfinished performance, all of it been chapter 1. And now, with SoFi coming up and summer on the way, it feel like the reveal is right around the corner. And here's the craziest part. We still don't even know the name of the song. Kendrick's let fans nickname it Tiramisu or Bodies, but not once has he confirmed the title. Why? Because even the name would spoil the reveal. Kendrick knows how to keep a mystery alive. That's why the suspense works. Every performance builds tension. Every hint makes the fan base spin theories. And every time he holds back the ending, it just makes you want it more. But if you've been paying attention, you can feel it. This ain't no endless tease. Kendrick's building to something. And the way he's moving, it's not just about surprise. It's about impact. About crafting a moment so undeniable, so clean, that it hits you in the chest and stays there. We might be one stage away from the Black Hippy comeback the culture been waiting on. Not because they need to prove anything, not because it's trendy, but because the story ain't over. Kendrick started this journey with them, and if these clues mean what we think they mean, he might be ready to bring it all back full circle. Live on stage, in his city, at the height of his career. And even if we don't get the reunion exactly how we expect, Kendrick gonna make sure it's unforgettable. Whether it's a surprise album, a tour announcement, or just a live moment that never gets repeated, we know one thing, he ain't done, not even close. So now the only question left is, when that moment comes, are you gonna catch it live? Or will you be scrolling through Twitter, watching history through a phone screen? And yo, if you thought this was wild, wait till you see how Drake just might have accidentally set this whole thing off. Some folks say the weird bar he dropped recently might have been the final straw for Kendrick to drop a like and subscribe to stay up to date in the newest developments of history being made.